Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Tony Mantor joining us here again today. Our artist, our musician, our manager, you name it, writer, so much. Also director, producer. Welcome back to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. You?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Please introduce yourself to everyone to start.
Well, I'm here in Nashville. I do production work, development work. I work with labels, artists, singers, just try and help them, guide them, and get them off with their career.
Oh, wonderful. And how do we find you online on social media, website?
They can find me at, they got my plateaumusic.com.
Mm-hmm.
My label, they can keep up with my artists and everything. Then I've got tonymantor.com where they can keep up with me and what I'm doing. And then, of course, all social media, Tony Mantor, YouTube at Tony Mantor. I'm pretty much around.
Excuse me. Well, it's exciting to have you back here. And for those new listeners today, tell us a little bit about yourself because there's a lot you're working on. And I want to ask about the documentary after I take a sip of water. So please continue the conversation.
Well, I've been here in Nashville for about 30 years, and I've had the honor of working with a lot of stars, a lot of people that most listeners would recognize, and work with them on shows, working with them on just various things of their careers, and it's just it's been a good ride.
And who are you working with these days, right? You're managing lots of people. You always have some great success stories. Do you want to talk about that or to get right into maybe the documentary that you're working on?
Well, first of all, if people remember Glenn Campbell, I'm managing and producing his daughter Debbie, and we've released a single over in the UK. And at first, we just released it just to take it to media to get her more well known in that area and that part of the world, and just see if we couldn't develop into some shows and just grow. And in the last couple of weeks, we've hit the charts over there, and now this week here, we find out he's number 21 in the charts in the UK. So I'm really happy with that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, congratulations. I mean, there's a lot to your success and it's a lot that you're doing and continuing to do. So we're excited to have you back. It's been what, two weeks or so?
2 weeks, yeah.
Ah, awesome. Well, fill us in what we've missed out. And of course, I know you're working a lot with autism as well. Did you want to share about that?
Yeah, well, in the last couple of weeks, that's the great thing about the music business. You just never know what's around the corner. Uh, I got, I just got an award from a CEO magazine in the UK for Manager of the Year over there, and I've got Donnie Most that we're getting ready to release here in the next couple of weeks. So it's been a pretty eventful couple of weeks.
Awesome. Tell me more. Give me more details, Tony.
Well, the cool part about this is I started working with different people in the UK
Mm-hmm.
about 8 years ago,
Okay.
and in 2019, I think it was 2019, I got my first award over there for Record Label of the Year, and then I wound up getting Manager of the Year, and this one that I just got this year is my seventh award that I've got in the UK, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, congratulations. It's more than pretty cool. I mean, you're from, is it Maine? Is it
Yeah,
where are
little
you from
town.
originally? You're from Maine, right?
Yeah, right.
Um, and being I mean, that's a country up there though too, right? So from country
Yeah.
to country, but you spent all these years in Nashville as a successful excuse me, writer and music producer. I'm just having trouble today. I have something in my throat.
I've
So if
had
you
that
forgive
happen.
me, Tony, can you just speak for another second? I need another
Oh
drink.
yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean, because with Debbie hitting the charts over there and Donnie getting ready to getting the management consultation award of the year for the CEO magazine. I mean it's been a pretty good 2 weeks, and we just keep trying to put things out there where we can keep the singers growing and going and building towards their careers. And I've been talking with people about possible uh, tour for Donnie up in Canada, and then just got varied things going. So it's been a good 2 weeks.
Yeah, and we got the spring coming into effect and the weather's making me feel good. I hope it's getting nicer in Nashville as well. Spring a little, or did you have some of that snow the other day too?
No, it's been chilly. I
Yeah,
mean,
really?
yeah, I mean, it's like here a couple of weeks ago, it was like almost 80 degrees, and the next day it was 50.
Oh my
You know?
gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, you're
and
right. I mean,
last week we hit a couple of days. It was like in the high 60s, low 70s, but like this last 2 or 3 days, it's been 40s, 50s, and overnight of like 29. I mean, it's been
no,
crazy.
yeah, well, same. We just had a little snow yesterday in New York. We never even got real snow this year, maybe like accumulation of like 1 inch. It was like nothing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. When it comes to the spring, it's here. It's getting close. You just have a different um, feeling in the air, and it makes you want to be more productive. And at least it does for me. And I want to do more, get outside. And
Yeah,
for you, I'm sure,
absolutely.
producing more. Congratulations. Did you actually make it to Times Square for your billboard?
No, not yet. I don't think it's been released yet. I think it was released today in Nashville. And then I think another, I don't know, it might be a week or two before it gets in the pipeline for the billboard in New York.
Oh, congrats. We're looking forward to it. Are you going to actually come up when it does air?
Let me try if I can break away. I mean, just got a lot of things going down here where I'm trying to take and build on this documentary I'm doing, and I've also got I haven't I'm just actually I haven't announced it yet, but I'm gonna kind of put it out there today. Uh, I'm started working on a Why Not Me, the World.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have I'm gonna have people from all around the world. They're gonna be sending me pictures and short video clips, and I'm gonna create uh, rather than just I started out with Why Not Me Nashville, and it kept growing and growing and growing, and then I started getting so many people from different spots around the world sending me messages or telling me about their kids or their grandkids or telling me stories, and I decided that rather than go from city to city, just make it a worldwide thing.
Interesting. And we're on a little bit of a journey here. And as my co-host today, correct? We
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to, yeah, I just got notes about that. Sorry. I literally just got an email saying, did we need to talk to Tony about co-hosting? I'm like, wait, what? Mike, what do you need? So fill me in. What did you want to talk about today? This that just set me for a loop.
Well, the biggest thing right now is keeping this momentum going for the autism awareness, acceptance, and understanding, because we've got to keep the word out there, and because April is Autism Awareness Month, it's
Yeah.
coming up very soon.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to have this video quite ready for it by then. I'm going to try, but I think the ability to encompass the world and bring so many people from different parts. I mean, I've already got people in Germany, Switzerland, uh, parts of the UK, Australia. I mean, because all over the US. I mean, it's just really expanding, and I'm just getting people that are just wanting to tell me their stories about how they're doing things, how they're living, their lives, how they adapt. And it's just really kind of it can be very touching in the way that we see things from a different person's perspective.
Well, by the way, I mean, we talked about it a few times, but there's new listeners and viewers each and every week. Can you share a little bit about what you're specifically doing for those with autism? Not everybody may know yet of this amazing production you are a part of and got assigned to,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and your song. Yeah.
it's kind of cool because I have a lot of people that'll ask me, why I picked autism, and the reality of it is I didn't pick autism. Autism picked me. I mean, I did this song for our first responders, like in 2 or 3 years ago, and I used the song "Why Not Me" for it, and
Hmm.
then I turned it into a more adult contemporary pop song so that we could do something different for the autistic world, and so I've been building from it. I did this video, "Why Not Me Nashville," and I mean it's got over 200,000 views on it, and it's expanded to so many different things. And I've been talking with different people about the documentary. I've got the uh, the kid that plays guitar on my video, "Why Not Me Nashville." I did a interview with him for the documentary, and some of the insights that he told me was just pretty outstanding on how he felt and kind of got bullied at times. And I think just we need to bring more awareness and get people to understand it more. So that way maybe we can break some of these walls down and build a better society for everybody.
Amazing. And you got to check it out. If you go to the website, Tony Mantor, it's spelled TonyMantor, you can find a link there, of course, to the video. And when do we have an end date for the production and the documentary? Is it supposed to be this year or is it going into next year? Do you have any answers on that?
Well, I'm hoping that I can get a lot of it filmed and get it done by, you know, fall. I'm
Yeah.
hoping. I mean, you know how video is. It goes slow at times. You get into editing and all that kind of thing. And then you have to hook up with people on their times and their times gets changed and just people living life sometimes makes things a little bit more difficult. So I'm not putting any deadline on it. I'm just going at it and I look at it as when it gets done, it gets done, but it's going to be one of those things that needs to get done. And I'm getting so much information that, and this is where I think that it's going to change the documentary part of it, is I think it's going to turn into a docu-series because I'm getting so much information from people and they're telling me their stories and different parts of how they deal with it or the doctors or the people that try and find homes for them
Yeah.
that I can't get it done in a short period of time. So it's going to have to be at least 3 or 4 part series in order to make it really and tell the story the way it needs to be told.
Oh, it's amazing. My heart goes out to all those with autism. But like I told you, I have a niece who has it. I have friends who have it, and their children, and it's just, they're just normal, great people. They're just different. And when I say my heart goes out, because as someone who doesn't have autism, I see them and I view them and I feel bad. But then they're just their own entity, their own person. They're amazing. They're soul. They're so kind and they're so talented and I don't want people to judge those people because they are different. They are unique. They
Absolutely.
have just an amazing gift and amazing talent. And like I said, I just wish we could really get to the understanding of why this happens. Why is it happening more now in society? There's so many different theories, which I'm sure your documentary is not going into. But is it the shots? Is it genetics? There's so many, is it our diets? Is it peanuts? Everyone has all these different myths as to why. But what we do know is there's an increase in autism. And I mean, the awareness that people have been raising over the years. And I used to be on the board for Autism Speaks in New York City,
Oh
which
yeah.
is a great foundation and charity many years ago. And I just got my feet wet in it to learn more about it. And now, 10 years later, looking back, it's like we learned so much more. And so many more people are being diagnosed with it. And it's not a bad thing. It's not, I hate to say you're autistic, it's a label, but it's just, we have to bring more awareness because people are treated differently, unfortunately, at times who have this. I'm gonna say just it's a creative gene is what it is. But yeah. And like in your video, it's just so heartwarming to see all different types of people,
Yeah.
children, adults,
Right.
and doing normal things. That's what we all do. It's just it's beautiful. And the
Well,
fact you're here helping is just awesome. Thank you.
when I very first started this, um, and I told a lady that I was going to do a video on it, the first thing she said to me, she goes, "How are you going to do it?" And because we all look the same. It's not like the one that I did for the first responders where you can tell they're a policeman or a fireman or whatever they do.
Hmm.
And I said that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Because now I can put this video out there showing people that look just like you and I, but yet they have autism, and doesn't mean that because they have autism that they can't function in this world. A lot of them go through training just like you and I might go through training. We learn their craft and then they transition into the workforce. So if they can do it, there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yeah.
just people have to learn that just because they have a few different traits. I mean, we all have different traits. I mean,
Hmm.
so they got to learn how to accept those traits, and then hopefully they'll understand what causes them and what they're going through, and then hopefully that will help bridge that gap a little bit.
Oh, Beautiful. Well, thank you. We can follow your journey on Instagram, also on your website, social media pages. What else has been going on for you?
Well, just trying to keep keep the movement going, because the one thing that I truly enjoy about this whole thing is, and I didn't expect it. I mean, I just thought that I'd get out there and do my video, do all these different things. But I've got people sending me pictures, reaching out to me. They'll give me a message, and then I'll pick up the phone, I'll call some of them, and just the stories. And this is the part I think that's probably the most important that I'm trying to get out there is the stories of everything.
Yeah.
If people can tell their stories and I can get it out there, and then someone else happens to be in the same situation, they can listen to this other person telling their story, and then they're going to
Yeah.
be able to relate to that because, "Hey, I went through that, or I did
Wow.
that."
Yeah.
And so if we can get everybody feeling like, hey, you're not the only one, you're not by yourself. And I had one person tell me that the biggest thing that he had to take and get over was that he felt alone,
Oh,
and no one should feel alone. So if we can take and bridge that gap so that they're not feeling alone and get them out there so they can actually, you know, do what they want to do and society can accept it that they can do what they want to do, then we're just creating a better world for everybody to be in.
reminds me of We Are the World, We Are the Children. Remember that song?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. And what was the other one? My goodness, in the 80s, it was oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. We sang it at my but getting all those voices together, I mean, is that an idea for the future? I mean, are we going to get some country musician artists on a song all together collaborating on something special maybe
You
for
know, that
those?
that'd be something pretty cool because there are so many people. I mean, I've got I've been in contact with a lot of major stars. I mean, people that have done monster movies, just very, very well known. And
Mm-hmm.
and the one thing that we've got in they've all have in common is they have a child that's autistic.
Oh,
So, some of the people that's helping me with this documentary, we've already got, we've already been in contact with their people about being in it and talking and so I think this thing can grow into something really good, and that's part of the reason why I chose to do with the Why Not Me, the World next instead of another city, because I felt that we need to let people know that this is a worldwide thing that everybody has to take and deal with. So if they have to deal with it, we have
yeah,
to we have to train people, not just the people that are autistic, but the people that aren't, how to deal with people. And if we can train them and to them so that they don't say or do or act stupid around them, and we all do that. I mean, because we live our lives day to day with our little issues that we deal with, but we don't realize what other people are going through. And sometimes we'll say or do something that's really stupid, and we don't really realize it's stupid until we sit back and go, "Oh man, that was a stupid thing to say." But by that time,
yeah,
it's been said. So there's a lot of work to be done, but just the numbers that you said, more people being diagnosed, 1 in 45
wow,
last year,
wow,
and and 1 in 7 people worldwide either know somebody or has somebody that's autistic in their family. 1 in 7. So it's really grown. And back 20 years, I think part of the reason why we're getting more diagnosis now is because 20 years ago, when someone was diagnosed with autism, they didn't know what it was. And like there was a speech therapist that went through college, I think 4 years, and she had one class in one semester that dealt with autism. And now they got classes that just that's all it is.
mm-hmm.
So I think part of the reason why is because now they're starting to figure out what it is and what's causing it, and they might not know exactly yet, but the diagnosis is getting better because they can do blood tests and figure things out. So now it's becoming more of a thing that's going to be someday probably considered normal. It's
Yeah,
just it's just it's just we have to get people thinking that it's normal so that they don't look at people differently.
Yeah. Yeah. That stigma, we got to get rid of it. And we want, yeah, make it all inclusive. You're right. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. And by the way, for those, just new to the show today, how did you stumble upon this? How did you get asked to, to do the song, and how did you get involved in the world of autism?
Well, autism, like I said earlier, autism found me. I I did the song "Why Not Me," and I just dedicated it to the first responders back in 2020.
And
You know,
it,
because they were,
but did you have a personal experience with a first responder, or how did you get the
well,
idea for the song in general?
okay. How I got the idea was about oh, 4 years ago. I did a benefit for a fallen police officer. And I he was a songwriter, and he'd been in a band, and he got killed in the line of action.
Mm.
So I knew his brother, and I knew him, and so I called his brother up and said, "Hey, did uh did Gene write any songs, or did you
Aw,
both write songs together?" And he says, "No." He goes, "Gene wrote them, I sang them." I said, "Well, why don't you find 5 songs that
yeah,
he wrote that you can sing? Come down here to Nashville. I'll put together a world-renowned band, and we'll create these songs, put them on a CD, we'll sell them, and we'll give it to his wife."
amazing.
So we did that, and we raised a ton of money for her. And then when Why Not Me came to me, and all my promoters wanted me to release it, I said,
You're like,
I gave up I gave up my singing career 30 years ago when I moved to Nashville to do production and management and behind the scenes. So I was just doing this CD for the fun of it.
hmm,
So I felt that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to put something out there like they want me to. I've got to do something that will help somebody with it. So where I'd worked with some first responders, I knew a bunch of them, I decided to do that. So we did that, and it got the word got out, and I got people, first responders, sending me uh uh videos and short pictures and clips and everything from all over the country.
yeah,
So I put it together, we did it, and it got like 125,000 hits. And I'm going, okay, that was cool. That was fun. It hit the charts at radio, and that was my little claim to fame thing that I did 30 years later. And then several months later, I had this lady call me up and said, "I really like what you did for the first responders. Can you do it for us?" And it turned out that she's a speech therapist for autistic children, and we talked, and I started thinking about how can I make this work. And then it just kind of started, and slowly we worked it. And then finally I put the video out there, and it's just grown completely, unbelievably, over the last 4 or 5 months. And I've had people all over the world reach out to me. So it just continues to grow. So that's kind of how it all happened. It was just a by chance thing.
yeah. Well, and it's done you amazing, right? It's amazing how things find us sometimes in life, and our next project, our next venture, our next
Yeah.
passion, and upcoming. What else did you have that you want to add? We're almost out of time, Tony, and it's always a pleasure speaking with you. What else did you want your audience to know today?
Well, the biggest thing is if they want to get involved and help, just don't be afraid to reach out and send me messages. And because I think in order for this thing to work the way that I'd like to see it work, I want to get as many people active and wanting to help as we can, and really create a platform where we can do some good, and hopefully build something that will be remembered.
Wonderful. And if we want to reach out to join forces, how can we do so?
Well, the best thing, they can go to my website, tonymantor.com. There's a link on there. They can send me an email, uh, social media. I mean, they can reach out to me at any of those platforms. I mean, pretty much any way they want to find a way, they can. No one's not found a way yet. So it's just a matter of getting people involved, and hopefully we can take the stigma away from this, to where people look at it a little differently, and have a little bit more acceptance, and because they understand it.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a pleasure having you here, Tony Mantor. Excited to hear about the progress that you're making. And of course, your artists topping the charts, they are doing well.
Yeah.
And in closing today, how did you want to leave off?
Well, just basically, if I like to tell everybody, that questions whether they can do something or not, because the why not me, when I first originally started it, was about positivity and never giving up on your dream. So I believe that it doesn't matter, only matters that you do it. So what I tell people is if they see somebody doing something that they'd like to be doing or they wanted to do or that's what their dreams are, they need to step back and say, if they can do it, why not me?
Yeah, very true. Thanks again. All right. Well, look forward to speaking with you. I guess, are we back here on the show another 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Tony Mantor, TonyMantor. Reach out to him on social media, say hello. And as far as leaving us with a quote, any word of wisdom for today?
Well, that's about it. Just don't ever stop trying to do what you wanted to do, because if others can do it, you can do it. You just got to keep never giving up.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Well, pleasure having you and looking forward to the next time we connect. And to all of our viewers and listeners, thank you guys. Tony Mentor in the house, and we'll be back shortly. Have a fantastic day. And again, guys, enjoy your week. And spring is almost here. Feel good. And we'll see you soon and share. Bye bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.